So today we're diving into a really big question, one that might just change how you see one of the world's most influential books. We're asking, is the Quran just a book for worship, or is it something more, like a practical rule book for life itself? Let's get into it. You know that feeling, right? We all have problems. It's just part of being human. Whether it's about your job, your family, or just trying to figure out what you're even doing here, we are constantly on the lookout for good answers. And really, if you zoom out, that's what human history is all about. It's this non-stop search for a better way to do things, to solve our challenges. I mean, from the very first laws ever written down all the way to the latest best-selling self-help book, it's the same quest. Okay, so picture this. You're in the middle of the search for answers, and then someone comes along with a claim that is, well, it's pretty out there. It's not just another human idea. It's something else entirely. So imagine a close friend, someone you've known your whole life, looks you in the eye and says, "Hey, I'm a prophet, and I've been given a rule book for you. Not from me, not from some philosopher, but directly from God, and it's designed to solve your problems." That's the core claim, right? A perfect solution. One that claims to be way better than our own logic, which, let's be honest, can lead to some pretty regrettable decisions. Naturally, your first response would be, okay, prove it. I mean, a claim that huge needs some seriously extraordinary proof. And in religious terms, that proof has a name. It's called a miracle, or a mujizat. It's the thing that validates the whole message. But here's the thing. Miracles might not be what you think they are. They aren't all about flash and spectacle. So let's take a look at how the Quran actually presents its own proof. What's fascinating is that if you look back, these divine proofs, these miracles, were always tailored to the time and place. So back in the time of Moses, what was the big thing? Magic. So his miracles were these incredible physical feats that just blew magic out of the water. Then in the time of Jesus, society was obsessed with medicine and healing. So his miracles were about healing people in ways that no doctor could ever dream of. And then you get to 7th century Arabia, the time of Prophet Muhammad. And what did they value most? What was their art form? Language. Eloquence, poetry, that was everything. So his miracle, it was a book. And this is where it gets really interesting, because the type of miracle makes all the difference. Think about it. A visual miracle, like splitting the Red Sea, is incredible, right? But the second it's over, it's over. All you have left is the story of it. It becomes a memory, an account of what happened. But the Quran's miracle is different. It's an informational miracle. It's an auditory miracle. So when it's retold, you're not just hearing a story about the miracle. You're experiencing the miracle itself in its original preserved state. It's timeless. And the proof for this claim, the argument goes, is baked right into the book itself. For starters, it was revealed piece by piece over 23 years, yet there are zero internal contradictions. The claim is that not a single word has ever been changed. And get this, it even has verses that criticize the Prophet Muhammad himself. Now, if you were making this up, would you include passages that call you out? Probably not. On top of all that, at the time, even the most celebrated poets and masters of Arabic apparently admitted its style was just something else, something beyond human ability. Okay, so that's the big claim, a divine rulebook, a miracle of information. But what does that actually mean for you today in your life? How do you even use it? Well, there is a piece of advice from Umar ibn al-Khattab, one of the Prophet's closest friends, that completely flips the script. He said, read the Qur'an as if it were revealed only for you. Think about that. Don't read it like a history book about people who lived thousands of years ago. Read it like it's a personal letter sent directly to you. And that leads to this huge fork in the road. There's a wrong way to approach it and a right way. The wrong way, that's reading it to find faults in other people, to use it as a weapon to judge them. The right way, though, is to use it like a mirror. You look into it to find solutions for your own life, to work on transforming yourself. And the creepy part is, the meaning you find isn't set in stone. It's more like an ocean. You can go to the exact same beach, step into the exact same spot, but the water that washes over your feet is brand new every single time. It's the same with the Qur'an. The meaning you pull from a verse today when you're dealing with one set of problems can be completely profoundly different from the meaning you get 10 years from now when you're a different person. So you have this personal rulebook. That's one thing. But what about when you have a question? How do you talk to the author? This is where salat, or prayer, comes in. The word salat itself doesn't just mean prayer. Its root literally means connection. So it's not just a ritual you perform, it's the act of establishing a direct line. It's how you plug into the mainframe, so to speak. But here's a fact that is genuinely surprising, something that challenges a lot of assumptions. The 5 daily prayers, salat, they only became mandatory 12 years after the first revelation started coming down. For 12 whole years, it wasn't required. So why wait? Because salat wasn't introduced as a chore. It was introduced as an incredible privilege. Before it was established, that direct line to God was basically a prophet's only hotline. If you had an issue, you had to go through a prophet. But with the institution of salat, that access was given to everyone. It was a complete democratization of that divine connection. Every single person got a direct line. All right, so what's the framework? A personal rulebook for your life's problems, and a direct line to connect with the ultimate problem solver. It sounds great in theory, but where do you even begin? How do you start? Look, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to worry you're going to do it wrong, or that you don't know enough. That the core idea here is that perfection isn't the entry fee. The biggest mistake you can make isn't messing up along the way. The biggest risk is letting that fear stop you from even starting in the first place. So let's end with this one thought. Just for a second, forget all the rules, all the rituals, everything else. If you truly believed you had an open, direct line to the ultimate source of all solutions, what would you ask?